So, um, a subscriber here on the channel asked me a question that made me think a little bit about it. That he asked me if I am if Brazil has no jobs, it's so we have scarcity of jobs here, and yes, we have. I mentioned here in the channel. What's the point in going there? How can I make a better living in comparison in where I live? I don't remember exactly where he live, but it makes me think about, and I will create this video to discuss here 5 ways that you, a foreign, could make a better living here in Brazil. Okay, I will discuss here 5 options going from zero, in the scenario you have absolutely no money, until the scenario where you have a lot of money. Okay, I'm going scaling and going up and up. 5 scenarios here that I consider good ways to come here. Okay, first of all, why come here to Brazil? What are the advantages? Okay, I cannot talk about other countries in the world. Okay, I see a lot of Americans coming here to my channel and saying that Mexico is better than Brazil because it's closer. Okay, being closer to USA is one point. Okay, but I don't know the other points because I don't live in Mexico. Okay, I cannot say that is the same as here. Okay, in the terms of diversity of climate, that is an advantage here in Brazil that I see, because Brazil is too large. Okay, I don't know if Mexico is like this. We have a huge variety of climates here, since the colder climates at the south until the hotter and beach climates at the north. Okay, that is where I live, in the hot part of Brazil. By the way, I will start to, I don't know how to say, whatever. But here in Brazil, we are very family oriented, okay? I think a lot more than rich countries, okay? Because I see that in rich countries, everybody has money. Everybody, it's not the case everybody is rich, but everybody has the enough money to have the basic, let me say like this. Here in Brazil, we depend a lot from each other in a lot of cases, because the life here is a little bit more difficult. So people need help from parents until late 30s or 40s, okay? So I think this is one factor that contributes to people be more like, the families are more close here than other richer parts of the world. I think is one point. But here we are a lot more family oriented, a lot more. I think Brazil is very conservative place. I don't know it's advantage or disadvantage for you, but if you look for a conservative place, I think Brazil is a lot conservative, a lot less than old times. Okay, and Brazil has a lower cost of living. So if you have high inflation in your country, there is a high possibility, because we have inflation killing all over the world today. Brazil, we have lower costs mainly on the north. Okay, the region I live here in Ceará, the costs are a lot lower than rich countries. Okay, so there are a lot of advantages. The distance from USA, let me say like this, could be a disadvantage, but I don't know if it's worth it. Okay, but these are some points. Now let's go to the five scenarios that you can make a living here in Brazil. Okay, let me say you live in a very poor country, because Brazil is very poor, but it's not the poorest place in the world. Okay, there are worse places than Brazil, like dictatorships, governments all over the world, that people have no freedom. Okay, here in Brazil we have freedom, we have absolutely stability. We don't have war here. We don't have climate disasters here. We have a very stable place to live, okay, and make a living and make a life here. Okay, and there are places in the world, as I say, that are very poor and very dictator, And okay, so maybe you live in a poor country and you wanna come here in Brazil. What could you do if you have no jobs here? Okay. So here in Brazil is not a good place to get a job. Okay, because the purchase power here is low and we have scarcity of jobs. Okay, I don't know what the government here has against jobs, but he makes his best to prevent people getting good jobs and good wages. Okay, I'm not saying it's because the labor laws. Okay, but labor laws here are not only minimum wage. It's a book like this huge here. Okay, it's a book like this 4 books here is the labor laws here, and every line in the labor laws determine a lot of very detailed, makes costs be very high here of hiring. Okay, the risks here are very high, so this makes salaries here be very lower than they could, and we have scarcity of jobs because if you have high risks to hiring, people hire fewer people than they could. So we have few jobs for a lot of people looking for jobs. So getting a job here could not be the best option, but if you have no money, it could be the only option if you come here to Brazil. But let me tell you the best scenario if you have no money and make money here in Brazil. If you have some ability like electricity, air conditioning, maintenance, some technical ability that companies need a lot, you could make a good money here, starting with a job, even if you make few money, starting with a job, but making extra, like this extra service to companies like, as I say, mainly electricity, mainly air conditioning, maintenance, and carpenter. Okay, but I think these 2 first jobs that I mentioned, like autonomous, okay, could give you the most money, because I had 2 business here, and I paid for a lot of professionals to do a variety of things that a job need, that a company needs. Okay, and the people that made more money that I paid the most were this technical stuff. Okay, these technical people that are autonomous. Okay, so you could start with a job here if you really want to come here Brazil and make these technical like things here. You could teach English too. Okay, there is a lot of people wanting to learn English, and there are a lot of opportunities here. But again, if it's job, you will not make a lot of money. You could start with job and make extra teaching English lessons in the free time, so you could make a decent amount to survive. Okay, at least. The second scenario that I think it's worth it here to come is if you are in a rich country and you have some source of income, passive income. Okay, because as I know, for example, in USA, a lot of people invest in stocks. In USA, it's something like cultural. Okay, here in Brazil, it's very different. People don't invest here. But if you invest, if you have stocks, maybe you have, I don't know, like $1,000 per month passively, or $500 a month. $500 a month could help you here in Brazil. $1,000 a month for one person could be a really good money to go buy, like, let me say, pay the basic stuff here in Brazil and get these extra, like, autonomous jobs here in Brazil, like, as I said, electricity, carpenter, that jobs that companies need here. Okay, this is the second scenario. Okay, or if you are in a rich country, I will give you the third scenario. Let me say that you have no investment at all, no passive income, but you have remotely work. You work from for some American company remotely. Okay, you could come here. The cost will be a lot lower, and you can just try out here if you really want to move here Brazil. and make money remotely and go, for example, here to the northeast Brazil, that is very cheap at the beginning. Okay, the south in the southeast has some countrysides very cheap too. You have to watch my other videos here in the channel, talk about a lot here. Okay, but it's a possibility, and you can work remotely and do this extra technical stuff here in Brazil, or you can work a lot more remotely to make more money. In a way or the other, the real, the tendency, in my vision, is the real always depreciate in relation to the dollar, because the economy here in Brazil is a lot weaker than the USA, let me say, the dollar economy. Okay, in the short term, maybe it will, the real will appreciate, but in the long term, I think it will be always depreciating a tendency trend. Okay, if you look to the graphics in the long term, you'll see that it depreciates a lot. But things in Brazil 10 years ago, 20 years ago were a lot cheaper than today. Yes, I agree. The things here were a lot cheaper and they get expensive, but you have to understand that the dollar appreciates in relation to real, and your dollar is getting the inflation too, so you make money twice. Okay, if you make like $500 20 years ago, today you make 1,000 because of the inflation you have to. Okay, so I think there's no way we can win the currency battle in the long term. Okay, there's no way. It's simply we have no comparison in relation to this. Okay, so let me say in the fourth scenario, you have a little bit more saved money and you are thinking to come here to really stand by and make and pass a bit more time here with your family, like build a life here. I recommend you come here and test before, okay, for some months. But if you wanted to start here your life and you are not rich, you don't have multiple six figures in your bank account, you could start with a very small business here, investing like 30,000 reais. Okay, what kind of business you can invest with 30,000 reais that I think it can be good? I mentioned here in the channel, one of my favorites is a small bed and breakfast, like mini hotel, like a house with many rooms that you can rent the rooms in a tourist beach here. Okay, this could have many advantages. Okay, if everything goes wrong, you have a property here in Brazil, so you can rent and make money. Okay, even if everything goes wrong, and if it goes right, you can rent the rooms and just live inside this small breakfast hotel, and you can live inside, and you can rent and can make money renting the rooms. I know a lot of people here in Ceará, that is my state, that makes this in the countryside, and they live off that. Even people from other states here in Brazil come here to Ceará to do this. Okay, so this could be a really good idea to open business. Okay, and now I'm talking about opening business. Okay, it's the next level. Another very good business model, not so very good. Okay, just remembering that if you wanna open a business in Brazil, I recommend start very small and don't hire a lot of people from the beginning. Okay, make like a small experiment, because the culture here in Brazil is a little bit different. Your mentality of your employees could scare you a little bit. Okay, so don't just come here and open a big business with 10 employees, something like this. Okay, at maximum 1 or 2. Okay, that's all, or no employees. Okay, and let me go to the next level. If you have multiple six figures in your bank account and you wanna open, let me say, a bigger business here in Brazil. Why is I talk about opening business in Brazil? Because here in Brazil we have this scarcity of good, let me say, good business. Okay, people here don't like to are not a lot of good entrepreneurs here in Brazil. So Brazil has a mass of people wanting to consume, a lot of buyers, and just few sellers. Okay, so but you have to know the right way to not lose a lot of money, because it's risky too. Okay, you don't want to invest a lot of money at the beginning. Okay, let me say if you have at least let me say $60,000 or $100,000 in your bank account. What could you do with $100,000 in your bank account? You could open I could say a lot less than that, but let's have a guarantee here. $100,000. You could open really good franchises here, very well structured with systems. Okay, because system is a very important thing. You must have a system. Okay, I talked about franchise in my previous videos. You can watch. Go in my videos and look for the video of franchise. We have a lot of options here in franchise. A tip that I give you is, in the preference, open a business in the food sector. Okay, because I observe people like a lot to go eating. Okay, they eat a lot. People here love to eat, and they prefer these snacks like pizza, like calzone. That is a kind of how can I say? Is a kind of, you have kebab. Okay, kebab, that is Arabic. I don't know, but these kinds of snacks like fast food, and people love this here, and they eat a lot this. So could be a franchise in the food sector. Okay, but prefer with the less employers as possible. Okay, there are a lot of options. You can go with the ABF franchise site. Okay, put in the Google ABF franchise. In this site you will find the biggest franchises in Brazil, the most consolidated franchise, and you can search a little bit, translate the page, and read a little bit about it. Okay, so that's it. Watch my videos about franchise. I mentioned some of them. Okay, and that's it. I hope this video could help you in some way. If you have any questions, there is a lot of things to talk about. If you have any questions, put here in the comments. That's it. Thank you and see you.